I can explain.
Greetings all, it is Ark Giga, or useless reptile, depending on where you know me from. Today we tackle a heavily debated and highly sensitive area of the internet. The hybrid wars. This is going to be about the 15 millionth time that a lot of you have heard this little recap, but we're going to do it anyway. Add some time to the video. I'm sure I'm going to put on a timestamp or something for y'all to skip to. A fairly popular monster channel on the YouTube's Goji Center decided to have some fun a few months back by re-engineering the Indominus Rex through a mixture of Tyrannosaurus Rex, bonobo, dwarf crocodile, short-tailed shrew, saurophagonax, and whip-tailed lizard. The Indominus 2.0 could create an extinction-level event with lightning-fast reproduction and a strict no-shower rule that spread disease across the globe. Another content creator on the platform, Goji Guy, took this as a challenge and made his fictional Hank to combat the devil beast. A modified Spinosaurus coupled with many fantastic creatures such as the Dunkleosteus, pistol shrimp, and tardigrade, just to name a few, threw fans into a buzz regarding the matchup and who reigned supreme. Fiction, though, was ultimately Hank's downfall, as Goji Center hit him with the physics hammer, stating attributes such as harmful errors in the striking power down to his very cellular functions. Goji Center tore Hank apart in their analysis platform. Since then, dozens of small creators have risen up to make hybrids of their own to best the 2.0. Taking it down became so big and so extravagant that Goji Center themselves threw open the floodgates to their community. A couple of weeks back, nigh on a month now, they announced a hybrid competition in which anyone with a death wish could challenge the 2.0 within certain stringent rules. They will be in the description for reference, as restating them would take way too much time, but they will be referenced somewhat. Twizzler is my entry into the hybrid wars, a blend of invertebrates that I feel stand a solid chance. Intellect is irrelevant, so I needed some animals that had the instincts to do what I needed them to do. I have decided to employ Arthropleura as Twizzler's base. Being low to the ground means that the Indominus has to really try to get a hold on us, and gives a massive bonus in stealth, as arthropods don't really carry an odor. Mass isn't all it brings to the table, though. Trackways from Arthropleura show that they wandered vast distances across many a diverse ecosystem. This arms it well against the tropics of Isla Nublar. At 110 pounds, though, Arthropleura is going to need some serious modifications for the task we want it to complete. Incorporating certain species of modern centipede, Scolopendra gigantea specifically, works to provide a more powerful set of limbs and slims out the Arthropleura's otherwise pretty wide frame. Gigantea is known to hunt in dark, humid environments, taking out bats, rodents, amphibians, and birds on the regular. This exposes itself to the same diseases the 2.0 would, as, when young, they'd be going after pretty similar prey. If the encounter goes awry, Twizzler would be able to wriggle out of the Indom's path with a burst of speed unexpected from something her size. Additionally, the fangs that Gigantea and other centipedes debilitate prey with are modified forelimbs called maxillipeds. This means I am free to modify Twizzler's jaws separately. These appendages do contain neurotoxic venom, but the high metabolism of the Indom and the comparatively small size of the centipede might render these toxins obsolete. Gigantea is considered to be one of the most aggressive centipede species, with a sensitivity to vibrations that will alert it to any large creature nearby. This gives Twizzler the tracking ability it needs to alert itself to any Indom in the area, as well as the temper to hold her ground. Although adults of the species tend to eat very little in comparison to their larvae, dermestid beetles are still worthy of note. Adding it to Twizzler's genome would provide a powerful set of jaws that are more than capable of mowing through the tender portions of the Indom's flesh. The maxillipeds of the centipede would provide a method of ripping through tougher tissues, making it that much easier for the jaws to work. A bit of a shorter section, but it gets a lot more complicated and lengthy, trust me. Eating is one thing, but surviving until we get there is another matter entirely. Adding to our defensive profile, and probably being the most important thing in the genome, is the ironclad beetle. Studies done on the armor of these insects reveal that their elytra can withstand up to 33 pounds of force on a body only weighing a matter of ounces. Obviously, the elytraless body plan of a centipede prevents us from using this particular connection, but the interlocking plates making up the rest of the beetle's armor will be more than enough. To my dismay, the only study that I've found going into these three connections doesn't really talk about them. It describes them as interdigitating, latching, and freestanding, providing maximum stiffness where they're needed to protect vital organs, as well as providing flexibility to absorb energy and distribute load uniformly. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to impact a centipede, because each of these connections are between the elytra and the rest of the body. Something that will need to be taken into account is the beetle's aptitude for playing dead. When alarmed, the insect will freeze, which is something that the centipede genome might help mitigate, but it will never completely remove it. Now, a rough exterior means grip, so we're adding the infamous hagfish to the genome. Their slimy defense couples well with the ironclad's durability to create armor that is not only difficult to break through, but tricky to grasp in the first place. Hagfish rely primarily on the seawater around them to spread their mucus, but the humidity in the air of Nubilar would give enough moisture for a thin layer to accumulate out of the water. An ability to absorb nutrients through their skin means that oxygen flow would not be restricted. Two other sets of sensory organs, this time the Schreiner's organ, external structures similar yet distinct to taste buds, and the lateral line, which provide vibration, pressure, and movement detection, would still be present and work, but Twizzler's armor might inhibit their sensitivity. They do, however, give Twizzler the ability to detect how much pressure the Indominus is asserting and adjust her position to relieve it. Wow, I must have been pretty tired when recording the hagfish scenario, because this is another day. We're in the home stretch here, people. We got one more animal to round out our Indom killer. Another millipede species will grant us a final bit of staying power. We've got Polyxenus ligurus.
Oh my god, what is that?
Look at them. They're a species of bristly millipede, only about 0.1 centimeters long and covered from head to tail in hollow, serrated barbs. These barbs are capable of detaching from the animal onto a predator when touched. What makes these barbs unique is their ability to hook together, ensnaring any predator trying to clean them off. Bristly millipedes tend to have soft exoskeletons, translating this feature to their barbs, but when reinforced by the tougher creatures in the genome, these barbs would not only hook together, but stick into any soft flesh the Indom might expose. The inside of the Indom's hands, for example, are seldom used due to its knuckle-walking gait. They would not be calloused enough to resist the spines penetrating when going to grab. Add on to that the fast reflexes granted by the Gigantea, and Twizzler is now capable of gumming up the Indom's hands and jaws, not only with hagfish slime, but also nature's Velcro. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for.
Introducing to you all, Scolopendra Greasy!
Upon reaching her full size of 9 feet, Twizzler would need to seek out a large organism to prepare for reproduction. The larger, the better. Indoms are obviously the only large organism in the ecosystem, but given the very obvious size difference, there is no way that Twizzler would see one of these as a potential prey item. This is why we used scavengers. A typical 2.0 is covered head to tail in all kinds of dead matter. The implementation of dermestid and hagfish DNA would instinctually drive our girl towards this death-ridden 2.0 regardless of whether it, itself, is alive. Per the rules of the competition, Twizzler won't be procreating. She is more than capable of doing so asexually through the inclusion of the bristly millipede, but reproduction is used only as a motive. Internal trauma will be the cause of death here, as Twizzler eats away at the Indom's organs and blocks bodily functions. I won't try and paint a crazy picture here because this video is going to be long enough, but the cut and dry of it is this. The 2.0 sees Twizzler and tries to grab her with the intention of either throwing her or tearing her to ribbons. Her spines give an initial sharp pain, and slime is expelled all over the 2.0's claws. It might try to approach her from a different direction, but Twizzler swings her tail at the Indom to further gum up its claws. With its hands tied, the Indom might then decide to use her mouth to get a better grip on Twizzler. This is exactly what we're looking for. Twizzler now has free access to the 2.0's throat. With a quick burst of speed, she forces her way in, gumming up the Indom's jaws with her barbs and slime, suffocating her and ending the fight. To the victor go the spoils as Twizzler begins her feast. You know chickens, right? They lay eggs. Everyone knows that. It's pretty easy for a chicken to lay an egg once they've been doing it for a while. You picking up what I'm putting down? Even if the Indom isn't laying as often as chickens, the port still offers a diabolical weak point. Hagfish tend to enter through these existing holes, so there's no reason to assume the same strategy can't be employed against an Indominus. Crawling up the inner thigh, the blood and guts coupled with thick skin would mean that the Indom won't feel a thing until it's too late. As Twizzler eats, especially in this particular area, not only are eggs prevented from escaping, but waste is as well. Along with the act of eating Twizzler is doing, the Indom would slowly die of constipation, for lack of a better term. Yeah, we're going that direction. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you found this rather fragmented analysis somewhat entertaining. Hopefully this video will go up either shortly before or slightly after Goji Center releases their honorable mentions. So maybe we'll get in there, maybe we won't. If we're not in there, maybe we're in the top 16. I'm cautiously optimistic.